do trade. Me also being a student, every month I have to submit, upload my works. I have an instructor above me, and 2-3 colleges call me for theology. I've done master in theology. God bless you.
Nice. Thank you so much. And fun fact, the friend is talking about was high school sweetheart. Almost became a daughter-in-law. Okay, my name is Clarice Makazi. I am the CEO and the founder of Global Women Impact Foundation. We deal with empowering women and supporting girl child. We are based in Mombasa, but we move around global. Yeah, and also I'm an entrepreneur. I am in hotel industry, and also I have a youth home center in Mombasa. Yes, I'm also a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. Yes. Thank you so much. Can we clap for them? And it's not easy being who they are. Yeah, so just start the conversation off. I want to understand from you, what does it mean by relationship well-being? When you hear the word relationship well-being, what comes in your mind? You can start.
Relation well-being. For me, no man is an island. All of us are called, are made, fashioned to intermingle. We are, allow me to use these social animals. So you know you are a being. So when I hear of relation well-being, is being able to be you and being able also to accommodate somebody who is not like you, who is not having your same values, who is not thinking like you, and having that patience by you being related to, maybe you'll give a positive vibe for him or her to check. And if not, you can still cope and you can still do some things together. That is well-being, relational well-being.
Yeah, that's powerful. Do you have anything to add? Yeah, for me, I believe that life is give and take. And it's either you are giving or you are taking from someone else. And it really matters who is around you, who is speaking life to you, or who are you speaking life to. So we are interconnected to so many people. We find that we are interconnected to our parents, our sisters, our friends, our enemies. So we are interconnected. For the enemy, ungesema na nguvu. Oh, enemies in capital letters. And I just want maybe Laura to start off is that what do you think of a healthy relationship? When someone say you are in a healthy relationship, what does it mean to you? And has that thought changed over time? And why, if it has changed?
Yes, I think a healthy relationship should be one where there is respect, there is trust, and I would say a good communication. And I think, can I say it has changed over time, or I've come to be able to define that over time. Yeah, I think early on in my life when I was younger, I wasn't so sure what a good relationship should be like. But now over time, now that I'm in my 40s, I believe good relationship should be based on trust, good communication, and respect.
You just said 40 people are shit.
Really? I'm born 84, so you can't do the math. I'm telling you,
the problem is not born 84, it's why I'm 40. Supposed to be that. Yes.
Good.
Thank you so much. And maybe Clarice or Mami, how has your thought on relationship, healthy relationship changed over time, or what is your take on that?
Okay, I think nothing has changed, only that we evolve. We keep on changing in different phases of our lives. So it depends. Today, perhaps you're having a relationship that is working, and it is working based on that time or in the level that you are as a person. Then, when you start improving on yourself, start growing, start working on yourself, you come to realize that that relationship is no longer working for you. So it requires you to get new relationship to fit in where you have also upgraded yourself to. And that one also will be built by personal values. You come to find that you don't value what you used to value. So things change, and that is what is change. You change, but the relationship doesn't change. You change as a person.
So, I think what I'm getting from you is that relationship, a healthy relationship is where there is growth in both parties, and also both parties acknowledging that they also need to accommodate each other's growth. Yes.
Yeah. It can be also a relationship with yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, because it all starts with the relationship that you have with yourself. Then now you start working on other people.
Yes, and I think that is important because, as human being, let me say, you get to a point where you're doing well in life and you're now growing because we are in a journey of self-discovery. Senior, now you consistently grow. You get to a point where your friends no longer feel like your friends, and then you start hearing them say, "Siku hizi umechange, siku hizi uko na madharau." And it's not that uko na madharau, it's just that you've grown, but your friends have refused to grow with you. Right? So there is an aspect of consistently growing, but also the people around you acknowledging the growth and also working on themselves to grow. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Thank you. Mom?
First, relationships start on friendship base. You cannot be related until there was a meeting point. I see you, I meet you here, we start interacting, there is something I've loved, maybe in Ruth, maybe in Laura. We start by knowing you, then we put a base that is concrete base of friendship. And in anything that grows, there is a point where it outgrows.
Yeah.
When the point of outgrowing comes, signs will be there, wide open. Can no longer go again. We are no longer matching. We are no longer on the same page. Maybe it won't be the other person is not wanting to grow. Maybe it is you also on your side. So it starts in a base of friendship, and if we will keep on friendship, on the friendship, or the relationship, maybe must be in pair,
Yeah.
growing together.
Yeah.
But whereby one retards, science will be out there, it will no longer be in harmony.
Yeah, and also just to take on from where you say that there is need for growth. And as I was saying earlier, the growth comes with a lot of, mourning of the previous you. Sindio? And for that reason, there is a healing that is supposed to be happening, you know? And so that takes me to the next part of the question where we are going to dive into romantic relationship. And I want to know from both of you. Mm. Is there a moment in your life, especially in a romantic relationship, that you had to prioritize your healing more than your relationship? So there is something that is happening in your life, and you also need to be there for your partner, but you're like, no, I need to prioritize my healing for my growth.
I have a long story. I have a friend here who knows part of my story. When I got married, it was during those times there was a new disease on our country, so both of my in-laws had to relocate. I had to live with 3, apart from my husband, members of the family in 2 rooms. One being my bedroom cum kitchen, and the other one being sitting room and bedroom at night. It was not easy. And you know, we are coming from a tradition whereby, I wish I could mute this man, that we were raised, this generation is having good chances. You make it or break it. But for us, the only thing we were taught is prioritizing your man, how to make him happy, kata kiuno, ufanye hivi, ufue, upike. Nyinyi sahii mnapata balanced. Sisi ilikuwa one way. That bad had one wing. So, you know, when you are living with people who have not been brought up by you, they don't have your moral values, they have theirs, and some of them, they were not that good enough to cope up with. But what do? This is life. By the way, nilifanya nikawa entrepreneur mwingine. There is this other side of me of entrepreneurship. I'm a farmer. Kwa sababu niliona whatever was happening to me, it was because I was not financially stable. I didn't have anything, nowhere to go. I had a stepmother. My mother passed long time ago. So coping up with these people, new in your life, new in your marriage. I was not married to them. I was married to my husband, but the situation forced us to be in that same cocoon. It was not easy. Every time fights, every time fights, every time quarrel. You know, you lose that romance thing of him because he's the one who will direct, and you know blood is thicker than you. And then by then I was a young mother, ikinipata saini ninalonalo hata sina tatizo. Wakati ule bado wewe ni mchanga, you want this man, you want your time. By the way, we didn't have coping and bonding time. It's by God's grace I'm still in that marriage. So when you are doing that thing, especially you come to bed, ni kazi tu unafanyia mtu, wewe usikiki kitu. Hakuna in fact, you reach a place you don't have to fake again. First of all, you have to fake like you're enjoying, and the time it comes up, wewe alizanaga. But then I saw time was going and running out of me, and this is life. I'll not have any other place to rehearse this life. I'm not planning for separation, neither divorce. And I was a Christian. I could not think like, wacha nikipera nje hapa ni kuvumiliana. Niishi huku hapa ni kuvumiliana. I had to sit me down. Somebody talked of looking yourself at the mirror. I think I'm the best doing that. Until imeniingia hata sasa sina haja kuangalia mirror, I can speak to myself. My nickname, I was given a nickname right from birth. Nimezaliwa Tanzania, KCMC, nimekuwa huko, tulikuja Kenya kutafuta masomo. Sasa jina langu wanaitwa binti. Najiangalia, najiambia binti, wewe ni mzuri, wewe waweza. Pole. Pole. Umepigika, umeumia. Pole. Tulia. Maana sometimes Linda, hizi cases zingefanywa mbele ya my in-laws. And then the husband badala ya jidai hapa equal, alafu kwa bedroom nakwambia hii kitu ulifanya usirudie tena. Hata plus 2 hapo hapo. So watapata mahali pa kukanyaga na mguu vizuri. Unaona? So I had to heal me. I had to heal myself. I had to nurse my wounds. I had to shake off the dust. I had to move forward. I had to remember the dreams I had. You know, you reach a time of say, mimi kweli ni ule jamani. Mimi ni ule. I want to be one of the best. Sisi ndio pioneers wa Mama Ngina Girls. Clean and clean we lost. Mimi nimefika hapa, nilifikaje hapa? What happened to me? I'm in mezzanine floor. Na unaona life kama basi nyingine imepita hivi kato stage. I had to sit down, to talk to me, to treat me, to nurse my wound, and then I said, even this romantic act, nitaenjoy.
Yes.
I was telling myself when that, unajua hiyo hili haikuji pa, it's not instantaneous. It's a process. I used to talk, binti enjoy. It's because this is hiyo kitu nimesema. Yani unashughulikiwa, enjoy. I used to say that. Then I was healed.
You are here.
I was healed and I'm healed up to today.
I don't know if the rest of them have anything to say. Ama memaliza kila kitu. Useme? Yeah. Okay. The floor is yours. Yes? The swali is, when it comes to your romantic life, was there a time that something happened that you had to prioritize your healing?
Yeah, at times, I think also when you are a broken woman, you attract broken men, right?
Repeat again.
When you are broken, you attract broken men.
Yes.
So, this little girl, she's so broken. Unaona ile mtoto mwenye yani anatafuta upendo. You are looking for love because you are not able to get it where it is supposed to come from. So you are so broken. So you find this guy mwenye pia ako broken from his end. So nyote wawili mnakutana. Yeah, so that happened to me once, but I got a wake-up call one day when I woke up and I asked myself, where am I going with this guy? Because uko na maisha ya kuishi umejiachilia. You know when someone is loved, you know even you forget even to do a makeup, you forget. Kuna ile upendo fulani unaweza pewa hadi ukajisahau. Yeah, so I woke up and asked myself, where am I seeing myself in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Would I want to still have the same life that I'm having today? And that was my turning point. So I told myself, I think what I'm having now may not work for me in the next 5 years. It may not work for me in the next 10 years. And I don't want to get old and see myself behaving the way I'm behaving. And also, in an aspect of a mother, like, would I want to see my daughter behaving the way I'm behaving? Would I want my daughter broken and meeting another broken man? Yeah, so I started to be intentional about it and I said no to that. It was very good, but I had to say no.
Yes. I think Laura, I'll have Nitakuonea huruma for that, but then I also want you to talk to us a situation where you had to unlearn something that you had to unlearn in your life in order for you to show yourself fully in your romantic relationship.
I think like many women, from early on in my relationship, romantic relationship with my now husband, I was so, I was not submissive. Simply because mimi I am a go-getter, like, you know, mimi ni mwanamke kujituma. So yani, waona ile kusikia instructions from someone, a man, anakuambia sasa usifanye hivi. It was a bit hard. It took me some time for me to adjust. Pole. Of course, with a lot of prayer. But I think that was something that I really had to learn with time. And when I say submissive, I don't mean that mwanamume ati bwanako ati akukanyagie, you know, like mtu ya kuipeleka kwa shimo na wewe wafuata tu kwa sababu you are supposed to be submissive. No, but just asking God for that wisdom to be able to be that partner that he needs in his life and to just live life, to do life together.
Thank you so much, Mami.
One thing I had to unlearn when we come to that romantic relationship, that is husband and the wife, and the wife, then that man is not perfect, neither are you. And most of the times, we want him to change according to what we think. We want to mold them. Yani watu tunasahau tunataka kuchukua mtu tumtengeneze kama udongo vile tulikuwa tunatengeneza kama udongo. Zingine hazifanyiki. Kuna mimi tabia niliziona tangu mwanzo wa ndoa yetu mpaka leo naziona na shangaa. Like mtu atatoa sabuni kwa nini yake, dustbin iko pale, atatupa hapa, what's wrong? Na hajawahi kuchange. Hata namwambia dadi, sasa tuko na mama mzima, mama wa 70 years, bado unatupa nini ya sabuni hapa, ile kitu ya tissue ikiisha kitoa pale kwa nini kwa toilet acho hapo, hazijawahi kuchange. So kuna vitu havitawahi kuchange. So I learned to cope with some things. Zile niliongea zikachenjika, sawa. Zingine they need you to change the perspective. Yeah.
Wale wa kusema I can change him. Where are you right now? Are you still thinking of changing them? That's how many years Nadia changed. I'm not ready to change someone's son. I want to also dive into the friendship perspective, because I feel like, especially Clarence, I've seen you with different women, working together, doing so much together, and some of them are your friends, yeah? So I'll also want to hear from your perspective. When do you think, at what point do you think this friendship is not serving my well-being anymore?
Okay, thank you, Linda. For me, I work with so many women around me, and in my life, I have boundaries, I have categories, and I don't open myself up to any woman. Yeah, so I know who is there during what season, and there are people who won't be there for another season. So my life, since I started working on it, it is like I'm on a journey. So I know today I can be here and we are so good friends, but tomorrow I'll wake up a different person, because I'm looking forward to become better for myself, not for anybody else. So in that, I concentrate more on myself more than other people. And I choose myself to be number one. And I tell you, ladies, you are number one. You are number one priority. And other people will just follow you because of who you are, what you have. Some will come in your life like because of what they're getting from you. But you need to be intentional in terms of marking boundaries, in terms of defining the relationship that you're having. If you're having a relationship with someone based on perhaps prayer, you need to main focus be prayer. If the other friend of yours, perhaps you're having, there are friends that are lower than you, and there are those ones who you are on the same level, and some of them they are higher than you. So you all need also to balance. You don't just wake up in the morning and say to help everybody. So you also need to do that. Unajua ni nani unaleta space yako at what time. And also those people who don't work for you in that season, you will just see them. And for me, I really believe in prayer. I pray a lot. So there's a way that I get to discern. Tunaanza tu kudifa tu. Naanza kuona tu kitu naambia God, here I think it's a signal that you're giving me. I think this relationship imefika mahali kwenye hatuwezi.
Thank you. And maybe Laura, you can share with us an experience where your friendship outgrow. Like you had a friend and then at a time you think you were just like, Can you give us an experience that you have ever gone through?
Well, I think ziko kadhaa. Mostly, I think most friends that I had when I was in high school, we were pretty close. Like, I remember there was a trip, the triplets. We were three very close friends in high school. And you know, high school, it's where you share a lot. You know, paka mkitoka class tu hivi mwataka out mashati nyote watatu mkite. You know, there's a lot you share during that time. So, of course, over time, I think one of them immediately after the first year of finishing Form 4, that was now 2003, yani communication ikaanza tu kufifia pole pole. One of them is still my close friend up to date. She's my best friend, but the other one yani iliisha tu pole pole, like mnapata tu vitu sahihi haviko, you know, like you don't akumbali, not only the distance, because even this other one was quite a bit far, but kuna venye tu hiyo time ikifika, relationship time yake imeisha, itaisha hata ukubwani. If I can remember, even during my college time, I also remember a few ladies who used to be close then, but then after finishing college, you give it some time, you know, like 2-3 years, just things just go fading, and you just know that indeed with time, when you understand that hizo friendships huwa ziko na season yake kwa maisha. Once that friendship has served that purpose, hiyo season itapita na itaisha, and hautafeel kibaruu sana ikiisha, you know. And like kuna zingine, okay, me so far I thank God sijakuwa na ile hali naweza sema ati sijui alikuwa best yangu alafu sijui akani you know, sijakuwa na drama ati sijui akashit na boyfriend, you know, vitu hivyo. I thank God sijapitia vitu dramatic kama hivyo, but friendships just seem to end in a very, you know, like a nice natural way, and you just know that, and indeed huyo time yake ni kama tu alishasa. But let me also say, for me right now where I am, I have very few friends. I think just like Gladys was saying, for me, I have very few friends. I don't have many friends. In fact, they are wanatosha tu kwa mkono, but I have many acquaintances because of my work, you know, the nature of my work. I'm very reserved in quickly just saying, this is my BFF, you know, nishamweka tayari kwa saboli yangu, because at this time, hujui ni nani anataka kurelate na wewe kwa uzuri, like atakuwa hapo na kwa shida na raha, ama yunataka tu the fact that you seem to have that popularity. So for me, honestly, I think I can mention, I think I have only 4 friends, but the rest I have quite a number of acquaintances, and I'm okay with that. I just like keeping a small, neat circle. And it's not by atinini ama nini. It happened that 2020, COVID 2020 showed me that things can shift. Okay, I had many friends, but 2020 I went through one of the hardest times of my life, and that time it made me know who the real friends are, and I think I remained with 2, and the other 2 I've gained now after 2020. You know, like they came into my life. But yes, that time was a very good season to be able to shed off and, you know, sieve. That situation was like a sieve. So all the ones that were not, you know, like real friends, they all fell off, and I remained with 2. And then later on, with time now, God has added me like 2 people I can call my close friends. But I have quite a number of acquaintances. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, as you're talking, I'm thinking, and I really want to hear the opinion of Mami Karemi. Is there a need of having friends, surely? Not friends, but really having best friends. Because as young women, especially when you go to Instagram, TikTok, you put on Instagram, you know, there is that girlies group, you know? Let's go for...
Your space is very valuable, because your space is very valuable. Because whoever you bring in your life changes you. You either like it or you don't. Utatembea wiki moja na rafiki asema asi, utajikuta tu unasema asi na ukupanga. Sasa if it can happen verbally, jua imeanzia spiritual. You should guard, the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, guard your heart with all diligence. Yaani uwe chokodari, chokos, askari wa mlangoni wa moyo wako. Na sana mabadiliko hayo yanaletwa na marafiki. You should be careful nani unamleta kwa space yako. Nani tu ni watu wa kucheka, twende KFC, twende wherever, tumalizie hapo. We should choose friends kama tu alivyosema wa kuongea maneno business. I had a good friend. You hear what I said? I had. The relationship has not like really expired, but it is on the last phase. She works in. She's a teacher in Ethiopia. We walked with her through when we were having nothing like thinking of entrepreneurship. So by God's grace and wisdom, we started like having something. Telling her, nimeinua room mbili Jomvu. Mimi pia yangu Mshomoroni nitafanya. Nimemaliza zangu 4. Mimi bado niko kwa msingi. Nimemaliza mimi next month na move. Mimi naendelea. Mimi next month nimepata kazi Ethiopia namaliza yangu the first salary. Baada hiyo haya shamba ya Shakahola na usishangae. Being a pastor and having shamba Shakahola is like 43 minutes when you drive 80 from Shakahola. I take her there. When we are far, I tell her, maana kule ni remote na kujaendelea. You see that pink house there. I have a business premise, I have a rental house I've made. Kitu gani hata sioni? Kitu gani hata sioni? From here tuna drive. From here uoni kitu yoyote hata sioni kitu. We reach. Ananiambia, mimi dota wangu aniambia ati amepata speaker tana speaker Risa. Amlete huku ati tuna drive tufike huku. Hiyo ndio hata pende speaker. Something was being registered in my spirit, and we have worked with her like 10 years. Sisi mafriend wa development, umefanya nini this month, umefanya nini, tunapelekana hivyo. Friends are good. Kwanza that time it enable me, unajua mko kama unafanya competition, but competition of you. The best competition you can do with you. Better you, develop you, challenge you. Wachana na watu watakupeleka stress. Leo wakienda kuweka nywele hivi utaweka hivi. Kesho wakiweka hivi, kesho wakinyoa inabidi unyoe. Kesho kutwa amesonga sijui utafanya nini unyoe. Just be you, appreciate you, compete with you, challenge you, ask you yourself, give yourself puzzles, solve your puzzles. Hii nikasema hii kuna kitu inadhihirika. Nikasema let me not be just that quick to judge. Of course I'm a pastor. I have room for change. Si watu hawachangaji kwa overnight. You have to give that room for change. Mungu atakuongelesha. I post to her in the hotel inafanya. Do you know what? I didn't write in the hotel. I just took the video and sent to her. Hii ni nyumba ya ng'ombe ama ni kitu gani? Nikasema this now relationship, this is affirmation. This is a done case. I'm walking and I'm not looking back. I'm hitting the road. I'm not stepping on my brakes. Ndio tumeachana. Then she comes another time, she tells me, sister yangu amenunua nyumba Nainuka Afrika. Nilisikia wewe pia ile shamba yako linunua Nainuka Afrika. Kuna shamba zingine huko nataka kuuziwa na Nainuka Afrika, hii sehemu ya Kilifi. Unajua habari zake? I told her, uliza dada yako. Hivyo. Somebody spoke here. You know, many a times we confuse meekness and foolishness. Yeah. You've got to teach people how to treat you. Yeah. Kama hujapitia mistreat, hawezi kufundisha watu kukutreat. Me, I know how it will take for me to nurse my heart. I will not stand here hearing your wickedness and your negative energy. Nibaki na wakati wa kujiponesha. Sina wakati wa kwenda ward. I will not go to that high dependency unit. I will not go to ICU. Hapo na hapo tunamalizana. I told her, uliza dada. Then she comes na mambo nyingine pia. Ati sijui nani ameharibikiwa sijui nini. Nikajua huyu kuna vile. Even what I was doing ilikuwa inamuuma. huyu sijui analibikiwa, sijui kazi yake imeisha, sijui bwanake nini, hata sijui na masunza huko, sijui hata wanajenga nyumba ya mabati. You know what I told her? Life happens. That was the last conversation. Hi. Tumebakia. Hi. You got to know that kuna vitu ukivikaribisha kwa maisha yako they will affect you. Friends ni kama kitabu ya kusoma. They will not confuse you. You know them. When they change, you will know. Chukua miguu yako tulia. Yes.
And I'm learning, you know, when you're still young, and when I say young, it's in your 20s, you look at friendship and just think, this is our thing. You know, all that people don't have friendship issues, only to find out that these things, paka kwa uzee iko. You know, because as she was saying earlier, no man is an island. Even in your old age, you need friends. And there's wanasema ati ukikuwa mtu mzima ndio unakuwa na akili. Even the fool wanazeeka, si ndio? So a fool will always be a fool even at the old age. Right? It's only unfortunate that you met them at the old age. Ndio ukajua kumbe hata utu uzima wote ni unaoji. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. It has really opened my eyes. I'm just like, thank you. When I'm growing up, when I'm in my 30s, because I'm almost in my 30s, I'm just like, hey, by the time I'm in my 30s, I won't be having friendship issue where you're not telling me I have to deal with that self. Yes, thank you so much. And maybe to the next question where we want just to dive into relationship with especially our family members, because then we know that friendship can be chosen. You can choose who is your friend, but then when it comes to family, you can't choose your family. Unajipatanga tu umezaliwa pap.
And I'm so grateful. Both I've had a good relationship with my late dad, and I've had a very good relationship with my mom, who is still there. And I think imechangia sana to how I do my best to relate with my daughter, though of course she can speak for her own. But for me, I'm so grateful. I don't think I have not had issues with my mom. We have been very good. We keep in touch, and for me, I think imenisaidia sana to just try to bring my daughter the same way or even better. For me, I think I'm grateful.
Okay, for me, I think mother-daughter relationship is very important. My mother is my best friend. It doesn't mean that she's 100% good. At times she annoys me, and I know she's wrong, but I go back and say I'm sorry. And I know she's the one who has annoyed me. I go back and say sorry because of what I know the word says that we honor our parents, and she carries me blessing. So that is what, when I remember about the word of God, it brings me back in line. She doesn't need to tell me I'm sorry. I am the one to say I'm sorry. And that has helped me in raising my children right now. I have 4 kids. I have 2 boys, 2 girls. My daughter is like, she's trying to see how I relate to my parents, and that is how she treats me. I came to realize that everything we do in this world, it is a seed. Everything that you do, it is a seed. One day it will germinate, you will see it, and the more you do it, you're watering it. So the moment I realized that anything that I do that is not right to my mother is a seed that I am planting. So one day it will come back to me. So I started to be very intentional on how I treat my mother and my father. And okay, perhaps one day you can talk about pastors' kids. My father is a pastor. So there's a way that there's a time that you get to a point wherever you want to become rebellious. and even you don't even want to worship the God. You feel like this thing, I don't want to do it, and you run away on your things. But there's a place whereby I think kuna kufinyangwa na Mungu when you start growing the journey of salvation. There's a way that God anakufinyanga hadi unatoshea kwa hiyo mikono kunyenyekea kwa wazazi, and that is a place whereby all of us we go through processes to become that. So the more, I think, the more we rise, the more we become more humble, and the more you feel like you even need them more than yesterday. Yeah, and that is, I think, my experience. I have a very good relationship with my parents, and I'm so proud of them.
Hey, mine. It's too far away, different from this.
They are lucky.
My mom was Tanzania Chaga. Wachaga wanamenyaga ndizi na mikono yao hapa huwa iko na sumu. Mamangu alikuwa atakaki ujinga. Mamangu alikuwa mkali, babangu could spank us, lakini occasionally. Mamangu ungefanya ujinga hapo karibu, angekushika moja hapa, ungesema kila kitu kama narration mpaka umalize. So she was that hard, a very more than disciplinarian. So mimi hata I remember when I went to my menstrual, sasa mimi naanza kumwambia nyuma, hata nimekuja hapa umeanza kulala na wanaume. Sasa mimi nimejikaza. I remember hizi matarehe nakumbuka hapa, it was July 28 the year 1987. I was in class 7. Nilikuwa mzaliwa. So unaona mimi ni ancestor wako. So I'm from school, nimesoma Makande Primary by the way. Nimeenda ndani, nimechange. Unajua ile ya kwanza ni sticky. Sorry wanaume mko hapa. Lakini na mko na watoto pia, wasichana mtaelewa hiki. Nimeenda nyumbani, nikaona, nikaogopa. I went to the bathroom and I washed. I didn't know stories of sanitary pad ama kuweka nini. Nikaenda nikafanyikini. Kidogo hii pia, nikaenda kaosha. Kidogo hii pia, zimeisha. Unajua baba times ilikuwa kaa 4-5. God for hizi mambo packet nzima 40. Hai. Ilikuwa ni miujiza kusiona. So, ya mwisho nasimama hivi kwa kiti, akaniambia, "Njoo hapa binti." Mimi nishaanza akia Mungu, mama msikelala na mwanangu. Msikelala na mwanangu yote. Nilikuwa tu klasini. Tukitoka nikasikia kama niko sick. Ai, nililia. Simama hapo acha ujinga. Ingia hapo baby. Mimi nimekuambia ukweli pia msikelala na mwanangu yote. Kuna mwanaume mwenye sikia. Ukilala na mwanaume kuanzia leo utashikwa na mimba. Ukisogelea, hakusema ukilala. Ukisogelea. Mimi estimate wangu chini Apungu, I will not forget. Estimate wangu anaitwa Jimmy Apungu. You remember those days? Sasa Jimmy atahama. Ndio nikisogelea mwanaume utashikwa na mimba. That woman I know. Kanieleza by then sisi tulikuwa tunapewa nguo. Kambai na kato unaweka, unapoa zingine 5 ukimaliza hiyo utafua hiyo utaweka hiyo. That was our life. Pale ilikuwa moja inaitwa Medicot. Tena tulikuwa tunaona gani ya Waarabu, mimi kama kupa na Waarabu. Tulikuwa tunajua ni kama Wasania. Hizo ndio walikuwa tutu kwa Swahili. Sisi tulikuwa tutui hizo. Tukaja stay free. Na sasa kulikuwa kila kitu. So, mimi nikianza kukua, my daughter was, I bore my daughter 1997, my second one. Mimi sikumlea vile tulilelewa. In fact, watoto wangu wote, we sit down, tunaangalia cartoon, tunaongea mambo. Bwanangu hata ni muoga. Mimi watoto wangu wakianza kumachua wanaume, mimi ndio nawaambia story ya masturbation. Si niwaketisha, njoo hapa Niki. Njoo hapa Nesta. Hata Nesta aliniambia keti hapa. Najua mkifika hii age kuna story inaitwa masturbation. Do you know mkono wako ufanani na uchi wa mwanamke hivi kwa macho hivi. Vitu sisi hatukufundisha, hatukuambiwa. No. So anakuwa akijua kila kitu. Come to my daughter. My daughter akiwa kwa relationship, I know mpaka leo zikibreak ananiambia. So far mbili zisha break. When she went to university, I told her, sorry, I'm not tribalistic, lakini nisamee tu nisemei. Niambia, huko ukatafute Mnandi. Huko uonekane na Mnandi. Kama si mzungu Mnandi. Mimi, I'm married to a Luo, by the way. Not for bad reasons. Unajua kuna vitu zingine unaona alafu unakonklude ni kila mtu, si kila mtu. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Si kila mtu. But we don't marry tribe. You marry personality. So,
and I can attest to that. The relationship with the daughter is just wow. And I remember the time I was talking to the daughter and she was like, because I was asking her, how is it being a pastor's child when it comes to dressing and all that. And she was like, hai uzuri mamangu hizo story hata ana. Ni bora venye nitavaa bora niko smart. And so she was, when I was talking to her, she really talked about how good your relationship was and how she usually wants to run home to you. Yeah. I remember the last relationship before she went to Nairobi and they were just like, hey, kwani ulikuwa shaambiwa sasa sema hai mama akijua kwani kuna nini, you know. For me at that time I was like, I really wanted to know the kind of relationship that they have with the mother. They attest to whatever she's saying. And so this maybe we just bring into the next question ya kuuliza, especially kwa sababu sahi the Gen Zs and the late millennial type of raising their children is different from
that was their belief. Mtoto alikuwa achiwi hivi. Unfortunately with our society and very unfortunately we are learning from West. Even the Bible, several chapters of Proverbs speak of discipline a child. Waislamu wanasema ati afadhali hata umpige uwe nafsi lakini roho ipoe. Yeah. Waliamini discipline. Na ile discipline ilikuwa inatokana kibaya walifanya. This is the only evil they did. They didn't inform us so much of the mistake so that when we do the mistake, they have all it takes to punish us. They waited for us to do mistakes for them to correct us by spanking us. That is the only thing. But they believed in discipline. But it has worked. See us today now. It has worked. It has worked. Sikutumi ukafanya mtoto wako hivyo, but sidhani mtoto ni wa discipline tu wako hivyo. Wale you've not gotten children, you still maybe in relationship ama kuna vile, wanzie tu wakiwa wadogo. Let them know you are punished, you correcting them for what they've done. Just ask them. So unajua umekosa nini? Let them explain. Ni nini amekosa? Nimeshika hili kaeka hapa na nilikwambiaje? Nilikwambia sasa mimi nakuchapa kwa sababu umeshika, si wewe ni mbaya. Wewe ni mzuri na kuchapa kwa sababu umeshika. Let them learn kutoka tu udogo waende nayo wakiwa wakubwa. Even when they come to a place ya compare their wakanania wachapagwi wanawachwa wanafanya nini, but wewe ulipanda kwao sasa. You know every house is a government. This is your system of governing your government. Kwangu kuna punishment. By the way, nice. Mimi nimechapanga mpaka second year. I tell you the truth. Mimi nimekuja nyumbani, nimemkuta bado curtain yako made that time. Curtain bado zimefungwa. Huo ameanua kwa kiti, ziko kwa kiti. Ameketi hivi, ameangalia TV na ni saa 10 mchana. Na nilitoka hapo asubuhi nikienda 5 in the morning nikienda Glory nikamwambia tunajua tunamei fanya shughuli zote za elimu. Find us seated there. There was no negotiation. When negotiation fails, you go military. Jana kumbukaga yeye anaambia watu mimi mamangu alichapa mpaka second year. Na mwenyewe sasa si kuchapa hii kama but I think that was the last time. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. So they believed. Our parents believed on discipline is making up something good out of us. Na sisi tuliovumilia kwa hiyo core value, it has made us good. It has made us resilient. Unaona vitu zingine hivi zinafanywa na kizazi, unashangaa ati ongeza na supermarket na mamako ulale chini ugaregare kama mtoto analala mpaka kuku yake siwe na tantrums. Tantrums, it was vocabulary in those days ati una tantrums. Tantrums ni kitu gani? Ungeona kitu cha mtema kuni sisi tuliona, and it has made us. So mkuze tuna discipline ya kuelewa kosa na much of information ya kuzuia kosa.
That's a lot, and thank you for that. And maybe just to hear from you, Africans, you know, our life as Africans, we grown up in a very big family, you know, and some of us come in a family that is big, and so unapata some of us mandugu zetu hawakwenda shule, hizi tuende shule and something like that. So you grow up and look for a job and then you're told to take care of your siblings. There's a lot of black tax in Africa. See at Kenya pekee. And unapata some of us are being repressed because of that. And sometimes unasema no, we talk about it and we say our parents have already lived. We need to make something for us and our kids. But it's not easy to just walk out and say, maybe I want to make something for my life, because your parents feel like it is a responsibility to take care of them and the siblings. So, do you think there should be boundaries in family? And at what point do you put boundaries with the family members?
Okay, I think for me, something that I'm learning is that no manual for family setup. Wale vile tulilelewa na vile tunalea, it's like we are copying what we saw. Even them, I think they copied what they saw their parents do. Hakuna manual. I tell you, ingekuwa na manual ya marriage. Like tunaenda kwa marriage, this is how marriage looks like. Mambo mingi sana tungekuwa tuna avoid, because we already know what we are getting ourselves into. So you are getting back, unazaa mtoto, you don't know how to go about it. You don't even know how to raise that child. You don't know nothing. Lakini mzazi ako, you'll figure your way out. Pole pole you find that mtoto amekuwa hivyo tu. So we are copying what we saw them doing. And hiyo ndio I think pia us, we have to become role models for our children. Tujifunze hiyo like when they see what perhaps they should copy from us.
Yeah, and then just maybe the next speaker who wants to answer, maybe you can answer it from a perspective. Kwa sababu nimeona TikTok kuna hii trend ya people coming on TikTok and saying it's now an anniversary of 2 years since I stopped talking to my mom. Anyone who have seen that? I'm celebrating 3 years of now stop talking to my dad. Because kuna hiyo type ya burdened by family members, especially parents and siblings. And also there's sometimes that we advocate for people to have good relationship with family. But there must be a boundary. So at what point do you say, mimi kitu mimi nasikia imenichokesha, I need to step out, so that you can have a boundary ni haitakufanya mpaka wewe ufike mahali useme now I am completely cutting off my parents. Because people are cutting off their parents out here. People are cutting off their parents. Kabisa. Anyone who has seen that situation? Yes. So can you take us through maybe as your boundary inafaa ikue, at what point do we need to start having the boundary ya kusema okay, so let me just step back, let me love them from afar, maybe ndio isifike ile place ya the burden is too much mpaka unasema mali imefika, mimi I'm disowning this family and moving on with my life.
Let me share my story. When I used to be this girl that does everything at home. Then one time in 2021, I went through a period of a very painful moment. And now I came to realize they were expecting me to still behave the way I used to behave and also support the way I used to support. They forgot that I was going through pain, I was going through loss that even I needed them to pour into me. So it came a time whereby I stopped talking to everyone in our family, even my parents, not in a bad way. I wanted to focus on me and the healing process. So I went through the healing process. And I remember one time I was summoned to go home. And when I went home, my father told me, "We want you to tell us, why have you been isolating yourself?" I told them it is because where I was, nobody could understand me. And I needed to isolate myself for some time. For my stability, because I could not stand. This is someone who, like, everyone thinks like we are okay. Even when we are smiling, you will think like we don't have any problem. We can give, we can do everything, but by the end of the day, you go back in the house, you don't have anything. So I had to tell them, for me to be where I am today, I needed to disconnect with everyone. I remember like when now I was coming out of that disconnection, I moved from where I used to live. Nobody knew. So I just sent a text, WhatsApp group, nikamwambia, anyone who wants to visit me, please text me, I'll send you the pin. So mtu angeuliza, why are you moving out from your house, going to live to rent a house? So the same nini now, people also they ask like, amepata mwanaume mwenye amemhamisha where she's going to live. Is it so? At that point, I needed to tell them where I am right now. I cannot be able to support. I cannot be able to give. In fact, I need more love from you guys. Even if you can support me, I will appreciate. Yeah, and today we are okay.
The black tax. Me, I used to see the white men like, hey, like me, I've taken all my burden schooling my children. They go to UK, they go to America. When I visit them, I set the purpose and a time frame. It is not allowed for me to stay in my daughter's house 1 year doing what in UK, whether I like it, neither in America. They call it that black tax. They don't want your finances to be misused, raising your people, and you become a burden, a liability to the government. They have this government assistance thing. So for a long time, I have been watching and seeing Africans. Is not that we are not like we can get out of one status of finances to another, but there is this kind of like false love and a false responsibility. You cannot rise above your pyramid. Your base will determine your height. Wale tulifanya my hypothesis ataka tuipata equal months. Hawezi kuwa you don't have financial base and you want to help like everyone. The society I'm married to, I'm sorry to say this, ni ukweli tuongee tu kweli. Biblia inasema tuseme. Mnafikiriaje? I'm not that. And because of that, mnafikiriaje? I'm not that. And because of that, I say no without apology. Siwezi napitisha mipaka yangu hapa. I want to grow me financially. Kuna miaka itafika. Sasa tunatumikia pesa, tunang'ang'ana na pesa. Ifike miaka pesa ikutumikie. You don't be a burden to your children. Now, you'll have to say no without apology. Give them a limit. Hivi ndio ninaweza kufanya. Na unfortunately wazazi wetu wengine hata si vitu za maana wanataka. Unajua kuna ile kitu ya kesho. Mzazi wako anasema nitumie hata 2,000 nianze project ya kutengeneza sabuni. Mwingine anataka 2,000 ati siku kuna harusi wapi ati anataka ngoja harusi. What is that? Wewe si mwanake? Na siwe unaolewa. Unaona, wewe fanya vitu fundamental, hata kitu laana. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 26 verse 2, a curse without cause cannot land. Wanakula, hawapigwi na baridi, rufu ulifanya repair, tosha. Tosha, bora wanakula. Then grow you financially. Be ready to walk away from your society for a time. Build that base, then you come back for them. Kwani umeambiwa na kufa kesho asubuhi? They are here to stay, si ndio? Jijenge kipesa. Kesho chukua moja moja, wewe watakakuwa UNICEF, watakakuwa sijui mwisho alikuwa anaenda akiwa na kazi, ifanya akiwa na pesa. Kazi yake ilikuwa tu watu wanaenda Mombasa kufanya kazi, yeye anaenda Mombasa kwa fedha. Walikuwa wanashinda Florida wakila ice cream. Sasa je, na unajua hata ice cream pistachio ya test namna gani? Grow you financially. Grow you. Wapenzi, somebody has said she has learned a lesson, I thank God. Usitegemee one avenue of pesa. Hiyo maneno ilipitwa na wakati. Hata kama umeajiriwa walipa 100,000. What made Jacob rich is not Mr. Laban. Lakini kichwani, kuwa na side hustle. Omba Mungu akupatie revelation ya kitu kitakuondoa mahali kupeleka kingine. Alafu, let us not be watu wa kutaka kufanya vitu watu wanafanya hapa nje. Instagram ya uongo. Kama watu wanaitwa fani, mimi ni fani number 1. Niko hapa tangu 1982. Class 2 nimeanza Makane Primary. Nimemalizia Mama Ngina. Wakati wetu, shamba walikuwa unaambiwa, toa unakotaka ujenge. Leo nani atakwambia hivyo? Kiwanja cha Pokole huko ndani unasikia 2,000,000. Where I have a church tumenunua 2.2 million. Na si mali pakubwa. Tuseme labda hii alafu iongezwe nyingine nusu. Zamani ungeambiwa, toa ujenge. Leo ukipata karobo hapa hivi unalipwa 400,000. Yote hiyo calculate vipuli tu kwa mwezi ungenunua vingapi? Angalia tu hizo chain. Basi enda kwa gold appreciate. Sorry to tell you this. Sijitangazi. Lakini najua sasa ingeenda kwa sonara hapa. Siwezi kutoka bila 20,000. Siwezi. Sasa 1 gram kwa sonara is 20,500. You can calculate me now. Usinishike ngeta hapo. Kwanza niko sawa kinoma uwezi. Kickboxing tunaenda na wewe. But this is what I want to advocate. Wasichana, tufanye vitu vya maana. Wewe inaje ujipambe siku unajipambia mwanaume akuone. Hawaji. Develop you, do things, build, buy assets. Huko vikotani ukisikia nyumba ati ni 1,100 ama ile ya wakora. Nunua isemekana ulinunua lakini ilikuwa ya wakora. Wasema ya wakora huna. Hadi huku si kwetu kunaweza kutokea kama kaya bombo tufukuzwe. Dunia na vyote vilivyomo ni mali ya Mungu. Kuwa na mashamba kote even as a girl there. Usiwaste pesa yako siku KFC kila weekend mko hapo na marafiki, mko na hii bash leo siku bash ya nini? Bash hata sina team. Ni bash tu bora marafiki zangu waje, tukule tukunywe waka nyumba ya 27,000 kwa sababu unapata mshahara 60,000. Kesho ukipewa barua Sinyali Bridge utajitupa. You rather go utafuta hata nyumba 5,000 utafuta kiwanja. Hata huko ndani kuna matope. Nani alikwambia kutakuwa na matope 3 years time to come? Nani? Mali ninakajogo. I just bought kiwanja 57,000 ya kutosha nyumba ya kama 10. Sasa hii nikitaka kuuza pale, siondoki bila milioni. Maana ni main road. Sasa hizi opportunity tunaona tunasikia. Seize the moment. This moment will not be there tomorrow. What you can put your hand to do it mightily. With all your potential. Maisha kukompeana na mtu achana nayo. Ya kushindana na watu wesi safari rally. You are a different river with your own meander. Yeah, don't usifananishe na mtu. Be coffee bean. Know the egg. When you boil the coffee bean, maybe to a maximum of maybe 60 degrees Celsius in 1 hour, then you boil the egg. They will all be boiled. They will all come out whole, but there will be a change in the egg. and not a change in the bean, but the change in the color of the water of the bean. One thing under the sun you should know, you are a treasure. So the Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7, we have this treasure in an earthen vessel or in a clay vessel. I'm clay. In fact, my beauty is not what you see. My beauty is my personality. You should have that confidence and that like you're clinging to know who you are. Whatever the circumstances, you are that person. Whatever happens in your financial life, you are mimi nikitoka Moroto, mimi nikitoka Nyali, I'll still be mimi. Nothing external can change me. So you should believe in your being, what you are. You'll be able to balance everywhere. When you go to the scholars and you believe you will not keep the whole day shutting your mouth and smell because there are scholars here. You'll know your worth. You'll know, in fact, we say he's worthing 1 million. You're not worthing those money. You're worthing you, the treasure that God placed in an earthen vessel. When you believe in yourself and the maker who has made you, and you know your purpose, nothing should cause you to wander around, neither to waver around. Have that, like, cut your need. You cannot be everyone. Cut your need. No, mimi ni huyu na ninafanya hili na mpaka yangu hii ibakia hapo. Chochote kiwezi kubadilisha.
Can I add something on that? Okay, perhaps I'll tell you my story. I got married when I was 19 years old. And by age 20, I already had my firstborn. And now my firstborn is in campus. So after that, I'm trying to get the numbers so that I don't confuse the 2021, I lost my husband. And when I lost my husband, when I got married to him, I was still very young. And I didn't know where I'm going. I started serving his vision. It was like I have become part of him growing up. So you tend to find that most of the women you see, they are not being themselves. They are actually living their husband's life, or they are serving the husband's vision. I stayed in that period and I never knew myself until he died. When he died is when I asked myself, because there's a process that you go through. I asked myself, I was born alone and this girl was heading somewhere. I was full of dreams. Hizi maono zilienda wapi? I wanted to become something. I was so bright. But ona sasa. Pesa, nini, unasikia unafurahia kila kitu. But now you forget that God has created you with something inside of you. Na huko mbinguni najua kila mtu atatoa ripoti yake. So all these years I stayed without doing anything of myself. Kununuliwa tomato, mimi sikuwa najua bei ya tomato, bei ya sukari nilijua kama. So I started catching up with a girl that I used to be 18 years. That is where now I went through the process now of healing now and catching up with the girl, calling back the girl inside of me. Umama ilikuwa umenizidi, Nina, unakuwa mama, unakuwa wife. Yeah, so I started calling back the girl inside of me and Kajiambia, you are created to do something in this world. And that is why I now started the program for women empowerment. I do it because of the story that I went through. Giving a girl child support is very important because there is a certain age whereby nobody tells you nothing. Sindio? You just want it and you want it. Na kuna mtu anaweza kukataza. And that is a very critical moment whereby when you know more, you can do better. When you know I can become ABCD, then other things can follow. You can be able to wait. Then you can catch up with other things. Then we are good to go. So, in where you are, you can start now asking yourself, who am I? Nimeumbwa kukuwa nani? Who am I supposed to become? Na nini nafaa kufanya? And when you sit to yourself and answer those questions, they're so critical, like you need to hiyo ndio inakupatia foundation of knowing your